First and foremost, before I start this video, I want to say something that made me giggle. So I posted, my forehead looks really big. I posted on my spam like a few days ago, maybe like a week ago. I posted on my story, I was like, oh, if you have any video requests, like please, like let me know. Because I'd be more than happy to work things that I can do and manage into my schedule. One of the responses to this, and I kid you not, was a bathroom makeover because I'm tired of looking at them towels hang up behind you. First of all, you're so real. Second of all, girl, let me take my time. I can't even remember when was the last time I did one of these. I feel like I've been non-stop moving around content-wise for the past like 2 months. So I was like, oh my gosh, let me just film a Vogue style secret to my skincare. I'm just kidding, no. My hair looks a little bit crazy right now because I actually just had it trimmed before I got my locks back in May. Little hair update. This is how long my hair is now post trim. I don't really like it. I really like the length that it was before, but my ends honestly just had to go. So I was like, you know what? We'll just grow it back. I asked you guys on my spam account to ask me some questions. You guys also weren't asking me that many diverse questions on my spam. No spam shade, but we kind of beefing right now. But anyway, I'm just gonna say right now, they're not very diverse. You guys asked me a lot of the same questions, surprisingly. Not really sure why, but I was like, you know what? Maybe it's time for a catch up, you know, some of the sort. Never hurts to catch up with the girl. This is the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. Let me just say, everybody who hyped this up, thank you, because it took me about 6 months to buy it. Now that I bought it, I'm very happy with how it works. This is probably one of the best primers I've ever used in my life. e.l.f. You will always be famous. e.l.f. was actually one of the first brands that I bought from when I started doing my makeup. Fun fact, back in like the 8th grade. So I was like 13, and e.l.f. was the cheapest. So I was like, oh, let me get e.l.f., okay? I use the Morphe setting spray. This is the Jumbo Continuous setting spray after every single step of my makeup routine because, baby, you need a set. Somebody asked me, what are your biggest red flags in a person? Being one, inconsiderate. That's one, ugly, and two, it's just like, you know, the bare minimum you could do for people is be considerate. When I think of somebody being considerate, I just think of somebody being like, okay, well, maybe I should be a little bit more grateful. Like, hey, I know they don't like this, so maybe I shouldn't do this when they're around. Just small stuff, you know, like thinking of other people. When you're like doing something, you're thinking about starting people or like how they would feel if you did something. Being inconsiderate is probably one of the ugliest things somebody could do, in my opinion. I'm also taking this Edge Booster Style Factor Edge Control on my brows. Y'all always ask me my brow routine. This is it. It's the summertime. I don't try to do too much makeup. Yeah, being inconsiderate is just so like, I don't know what it is, but it's just so, I don't know. And it's really ugly to me, and anybody who's overly considerate or just like really considerate and thinks about others, I don't know, I just find that really attractive. In friends, relationships, all of it. I don't know, I just feel like being considerate is one of the best things you could do as a human because it shows that you're capable of thinking outside yourself. And I don't know, I've just had some experiences where people were really inconsiderate of like my time and what I offer people and like my space and my belongings, and it really just turned me off when it wasn't taken into consideration, considering I was being so lenient with said people, or I specifically said like, hey, I don't want you doing this in my space, and then you turned around and did that in my space, or you told me somebody didn't want you doing like something in their space and you did it anyway. It's just like, why would you do that? You know, like why would you do that? I just think it's so ugly. That's the first one that came to my mind. I'm gonna think of a second one for y'all once I get. Inability to problem solve. I don't like people who act like brats when it comes to things not going their way. I think that's also very ugly because, one, as a grown adult, why can't you work with people? Why can't you compromise? You know, things don't go your way. You shouldn't be throwing a hissy fit and throwing in the towel. You know, like what happened to meeting in the middle? Okay, we're all adults here. What happened to meeting in the middle? You know, I think we should, you know, really return to our roots. My brows came out excellent today. Okay, I'm going in with the Fenty Beauty Eavesdrop Blurring Skin Tint. I only believe in skin tint. Fenty, you know I love you. You send me PR packages for a reason because, you know, I don't think you can do much wrong. Also, I only take this on the bottom half of my face because forehead, I don't know if you could tell, she's a slight bit darker than the rest of my face. I don't like to like wash it all out. That's how I like to keep the natural color of my face. Also, I took my locks out yesterday. Well, let me not say yesterday. I took my locks out 2 days ago and took my braids out from my locks yesterday. And let me just say, if you've ever had a protective style, you know that terrible feeling in your stomach, knowing that your hair is probably gonna look so bad like the first 1 or 2 washes after you take them out. Baby, this is the first time I've washed my curly hair, like hair, not scalp, because I had locks, since May. I washed my scalp since then, but this is the first time my hair has been out since May. And let me just say, the hair routine is gonna eat every time. Y'all always ask me, where's the hair routine? Where's the hair routine? I give you a full week of my curly hair, babes. Don't ignore it because everything in that video still remains the same. I will say the one thing that I did change from my curly hair routine is diffusing my hair, because I have become a diffuser girly. I finally learned how to do it, but I feel like my hair knows when I'm about to get it done, because all of a sudden it wants to look jaw-droppingly amazing, and I'm like, oh girl, you know you messy, you know you just saw me put that deposit in, why do you want to look good every day for 2 weeks now? But every other time I'm not getting it done, you're like mid at best. Like, what's going on? I really do love skin tint in the summertime because, one, I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like this Fenty one absorbs like into my skin, and I think it's just so fun. What has been the best change from this year so far? This year so far, she has been doing nothing but treating me well. If you've been keeping up, I've bought a house. Yes, it's still weird to say. I have a mortgage, no rent. Following up, I graduated college. It's just, this year has been so jam-packed with things that have just been, it's been constant change. I will say the thing that I think has been best for me change-wise has been letting school go and taking time for my mental health. I think me graduating college has been the best thing for me personally. It took me a few weeks to get on my feet. Y'all know I suffered the infamous post-college depression. Mine lasted about a month and a half, and I didn't even realize it until I was like, maybe I should get more medicine for that. I feel like y'all have been seeing that in my reflection of my content and me being consistent, because when I first got out, I was just doing anything. Since we're on the topic, somebody also asked me, what are some things you enjoy about not being a college student anymore? Before I answer that, Fenty Pro Filter Concealer. I am shade 150. Pasty, yeah, if you will. School was great. It was cute, but not being in school, she's hot, she's sexy, I love her. I do love that I kind of work on my own time, but I will also say me working on my own time is also a part of my downfall, because I'm a very schedule-oriented person. Y'all always say, Aaliyah, you're so organized. Like, can you not be organized for 2 seconds? That's who I am. So y'all saying, you're so organized, loosen up, no structure. I rely on structure for my mental health, so no. Okay, I'm not gonna be giving that up just for a quick little video view, you know? But I will say, I do love being able to do content creation full-time. I've done content creation full-time literally since I was like 17, 18 years old, because that's when I started paying my bills. And even then, I still think over time I'd started taking on more, but I think this is the most I've taken on in a non-school setting ever in my life. And when I tell you I've done nothing but loved every single second of it, I don't know what it is, but I don't know, I feel like it's different knowing that I kind of build my own life from here, and knowing that I can do what I love, which is make things out of videos and pictures, and nobody can tell me, oh, you have to do this first, you have another ooh, my edges. I have another like obligation before that and everything like that. Of course I have like deadlines and stuff, but even then they're deadlines of me creating things that I actually want to create, and I really don't have to like pick and choose between doing what I love and getting a solid grade. I think that's the best way that I could sum that up. If you've ever had to pick between a hobby or a student org and turning in a paper on time, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because even in my student org BSU that I was in my senior year, I feel like I had to pick sometimes, make this really good, get these pictures out and get these social media posts out, or sleep. And I would pick what I love every single time, and I would not go back and change a single thing. Now, was that healthy? No. But, okay, I never said it was healthy. I love having to not choose between what I love and what I have to do. What I want to do is something I love every day. In school, I didn't love it, but I'm glad I got it done. Besides buying a house, what's one big, hello? Besides buying a house, what's one thing you achieved this year, small or big? Like I said before, I bought a house, I graduated college. This is the Rare Beauty blush in the shade Bliss. Amazing, amazing product. Selena, never have to keep an eye out for you because you always keep an eye out for us. This year has been just a really interesting year. I feel like I've been tested a lot this year in a way that, like, are you gonna revert back to your old self? And things have happened that are completely out of my control. And I've just been doing a lot better with my reactions to things. And I will say, I don't like to talk about my boyfriend every second that I can, but anyway, he's played a big role in how I pick and choose what I react to and how I actually act on how things make me feel, if that makes sense. Although I love content creation, it is my job and it is something that I love, so when I don't feel like I'm doing the best that I absolutely can in this field, I'm gonna feel bad. And he's just helped me so much with learning like what I can and can't control in my day-to-day life, and I think it's amazing because he's really taught me like, okay, you feel this way, why? Okay, how are we gonna change that? And granted, I'm at the big age of 21 now, so I know how to do that on my own, but him just being around constantly, as much as he is, it really just is a reminder that like, if you don't like something, you can fix it, and you don't need to panic about everything. So that's just a little achievement that I've been super proud of. Now, I'm not always the best at it 24/7, I will say that. So a lot of y'all asked me along the lines of this question, do you ever think of moving to a different state in the future? Which state would you want to live in? Do you plan on moving anytime soon? One, I just bought a house, so I don't think so. I will say, I will always say that I would love to live in other states. Although I bought a house, that does not mean I personally have to stay here. I could rent it out to family, rent it out to other people, and still go whoa, that hair flip was bad, and still go live my life in other states. And I feel like a lot of people take that for granted because they're like, oh, upkeep, da 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 da. I made the decision to buy a house near family, so if anything happens with the house and I'm not here, I have family here who I trust their judgment. Both my parents, all my parents are here, my mom, stepdad, dad, stepmom, everybody's here. My grandparents are here, my cousins are here, my aunts are here. If I had to pick a state that I would have to move to, I was always saying I love Florida. I love how vibrant everything is, but I don't know, Florida, you also don't have to pay taxes on income. So do I want to move to Florida because I like it, or do I want to move to Florida because I don't want to pay taxes? I'll let you figure that one out. Family's there. I love my family. I have both sides of my family. I'm always so grateful that I have both sides of my family that are just so loving and welcoming and caring and just so, you know, a good foundation and a good village for me, because I have had my fair share of rocky times, and when it was rocky, my family was there. So, you know, and I think like maybe I can move to Georgia, Atlanta to be specific, because Atlanta gives me Charlotte vibes, but it's not Charlotte people, so I love that. I definitely would move to another state, but I don't plan on moving anytime soon. Once again, I'm really surprised that a lot of people had asked me that, considering a lot of y'all know I just bought a house. But maybe y'all are finally like, not y'all, but maybe people are finally realizing like, oh, you bought a house, like, okay, that's cool, do you want to live anywhere else, you know? But yeah, I think living in another state for like a year or two would be fun, but I'm not letting a house like keep me here, if that makes sense. I personally love where I live. I love my home. It feels like home. I love to be home. I love being near my family, but I also love to get out and try new things individually on and off camera, and I think living in another state would be really good. Somebody asked me, have you been car shopping, or have you thought of getting a new car or a second car? I always thought this was very interesting because I didn't know people traded cars in and out as often as they did until I got one. I don't know, I'm not gonna say never, but it's a very, very, very unlikely chance that I would go and get a second car. One, you can only drive one at a time, so why would I be paying insurance on two cars when I can only drive one at a time? Not driving around insured, that's for one. I'm gonna be taking the same bronzer to do my nose contour. I don't see the point in having two cars for me personally. I'm not trying to pay two insurances because insurance is through the roof, especially as a young woman who's 21. My insurance is already through the roof. In terms of North Carolina insurance, I know you girlies in New York and California and all them places are screaming, in Florida because you have hurricanes, but here it's very high, okay? Sometimes I'm like, oh, that would be nice, like, oh, but then I think like my car is fine, you know, like my car is fine. Fun fact, my car is actually completely paid off. On top of me thinking my car is already perfectly fine, I think the also idea that I would have to get a new car note because I wouldn't buy a car in cash because I'd rather build my credit. The idea that I would have to have a car note after not having one for months. My car's been paid off for a while. It's just like, I don't want another bill, like if I don't have to, you know? And for me to be 21 and have a fully paid off car, and the only things that I really have to worry about right now is a mortgage, insurance, and then like of course groceries, light, water, you know, stuff like that. Car notes are a lot of money, especially like right now. But no, I haven't been car shopping. Of course, like I said before, I'll see like a nice car like maybe on the street or something, and I'm like, oh, well maybe one day. People always ask what kind of car I have. I have a 2021 Honda Civic Sport. I have a vlog on it. Y'all ask me for the car tour all the time. There's nothing in my car. So I'm gonna link the, the video above, because people always ask me for a car tour. My car has not changed, okay? I haven't got it wrapped. I don't really have anything in it, or I try not to have anything in it, but the most I've done since I've gotten it was gotten my windows tinted. And I did a YouTube short vlog on that. Any updates to the car, y'all have pretty much seen. Where's your next trip to? I'll give you a hint. I'll say one, it's international. That's kind of a really bad hint, but it's international and the primary language is Dutch. Y'all can guess where you think. You will be getting a vlog though, so. Have you thought about joining any hobbies like a cooking class, yoga, etc.? Oh my gosh, have I thought about joining any hobby classes? Lord, that's all I think about. I definitely have thought about joining some hobby classes because since I'm a full-time content creator, I document my life. And if I'm not in school, I have to give myself things to do besides work because the work-life balance, babe, is still very much present. It needs to be dealt with in a healthy manner. Oh my gosh, I love learning. I love to learn. As much as I didn't really function well mentally in school, learning is just so fun. I love to take in new information. I love to learn more about people, things, the arts, history, stuff like that. I will say I have been looking and I have been very happy with what I'm seeing for Charlotte because Charlotte is like a slow version of Atlanta, which I think is why I function so well here because if I lived in Atlanta, my imposter syndrome would be really bad and I would feel very out of place because I just, you know, but here I kind of feel like I belong here. I feel like I can function here. I belong here. Even when I go to places like Miami, New York, you know, I don't feel like I belong, but maybe that's just because I'm not a local or a native to the state. It's odd, but anyway, back to the question. Would love to take a hobby class. I've been looking into cooking, not gonna lie. I've been trying to find a little cute yoga studio here that's like not too far, not too expensive because that is another expense. They don't do those classes for free. But I also have been looking more into photography and videography to one, brush up on my skills, and two, I love to do it. So I'd love to learn more about it. What's life like with a significant other that can keep up with you as well as support you? Like I said, I don't like to talk about my significant other too much. Y'all see him a lot, but you know, he's seen. You know, I don't really like to go into detail about our relationship too often just because, you know, our relationship, me and his relationship, you know, I try to keep it that way for both of our sanities and stuff like that, mainly mine. But I will say, it's very different. I mean, I've talked to people, men and women, over years, and it just seems like it's hard to kind of have somebody be able to adjust to your type of lifestyle that they're not used to. I will say the first time that I kind of realized that I had the most supportive boyfriend in the world who's always wanting the best for me and who's never envious or just kind of, you know, wanting what I have. I went to Atlanta back in October because I was flown out for U2 Black, hashtag class of 2022. Yep. For YouTube Black, of course. YouTube Black boys. The whole time I was there was nothing but, oh, I'm so proud of you. Like, you're doing your thing. I'm gonna be 110% behind you the entire time, like, ever. Like, hello? There was never like, oh, you're out in Atlanta. This is crazy. You didn't ask me to come. Like, oh, da, da, da. The only time he would, like, whine or, like, say something or maybe be gone was, oh, I miss you. It's so weird, like, not having you around. And that was it. You'd be so surprised how hard it is to like kind of adjust to people. For one, I'm taking this Laura Mercier powder and patting it in, by the way. I've had my fair share of boyfriends in the day and talking stages and da-da-da-da. A breath of fresh air, if we're being honest, because if nobody's behind me on something, I know he will be, especially because that's just how he is. He supports me in every single thing I do. He does everything in his power to make my life easier. I don't know, as somebody whose love language is acts of service and words of affirmation, I think we're a pretty solid match. But I just feel like we kind of mirror each other in a way. We try to balance each other out and keep up with one another instead of keep up with like, oh, I need to be doing this like her, instead of like, oh, he's doing this, you know, like, I don't really know how to explain it. I don't know, does that make sense? What's some new artists, songs, and albums you've been listening to? I love when y'all ask me about music. A lot of y'all founded me on them playlist videos that y'all keep asking me about, but I cannot do because of copyright. Bills are too high to be having copyrighted videos I can't make money on. I'm sorry. My boyfriend actually put me on to Jordan Ward recently. Let me just say, that man is a genius, okay? I love his music. If you're really into like vibey music, Jordan Ward is definitely for you. So he's a new artist. I will say, I do think I'm also kind of losing it. Fenty Highlight, I almost forgot to tell you. This is Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal. Little on the nose, little on the cheekbones. I think I'm going through a LMFAO resurgence. Me and my younger sister, we are losing it 24/7. And I don't know what's up with our brain chemistry, but something's off. But LMFAO is fun music to me. Imagine having an LMFAO 21st birthday theme party. Anyway. Also, follow me on Spotify if you don't, because I make playlists. You can see what I'm listening to. My daily playlist is 24/7. I've been trying to get into more music recently, which I've been doing. Also, because y'all know I'm a Dominic Fike lover, not fan. fan, lover. I love Sunburn. My favorite song on there is 7 Hours, but the best song on there is Mama's Boy. Not everybody's gonna get it the first time they hear it, okay? A lot of people won't get it, but after a while, you're gonna be like, whoa, what is this? You know, like, oh, it's so good. So that's just what I've been listening to recently. That's what's coming to my head right now. How do you like living in a house? I'm debating on a home or townhome and I'm stuck. I will say, people ask me all the time, what's it like between apartment and home living? And at this point, it seems like I have a lot of questions about that, so I might just do a video on like questions y'all have about homeowning on top of homeowning at such a young age, because girl, it's like my 3rd day out here. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't deal with like noisy neighbors. The neighborhood I live in is very like, you know, it's very quiet. Once again, it depends on where you live, but I personally love a townhome because they deal with the stuff outside. That is my one breaking point for why I didn't buy a single family home, okay? Anything that happens on the outside of these 4 walls, essentially, is not my problem, okay? I deal with that in HOA fees, okay? And that's why I got a townhome instead of a house. Fun fact, because I was not trying to upkeep the outside. Who's paying somebody to cut grass? Baby, they come once a week to cut everybody's grass, okay? And they're done by 1. Who was gonna cut my lawn? Would have looked crazy, I'm sorry. What's the next step for Aaliyah? Any new long-term goals? Right now, I'm not gonna sit up here and lie because I feel like being 21, I feel like I've accomplished so much. Not saying I'm like, oh, you know, like, oh, I did so much at 21, but like, I feel like genuinely I've done so much at 21. I bought a house, I graduated college, my car is paid off. I've been making 6 figures since I was 17 or 18 at this point, and I just, you know, I feel like I've done so much. It kind of puts me at like a place where it's like, what do I do next? And I don't really know what to do, but I will say one of my long-term goals that's just kind of like, it's just kind of standalone, and it's not really something I can achieve in like one go, in my opinion, but it definitely is to travel more. And I just feel like the world is too big. It's too many beautiful things here on this wonderful earth that there's no reason I shouldn't be out and experiencing it. So I definitely want to travel more. Even like after like the post-college phase, I still feel like that's something I genuinely want to do because like I said, I love art, I love history, I love looking at stuff like that, and I love learning. I just love things that traveling can do for you. Now, I've traveled a good fair amount in my day. I just went to Jamaica for my 21st birthday, but that was more like a relaxing trip, so I'm not going to count that in this discussion right at this second. But I've been to places like the Bahamas, Cancun. I've been out of the country before, but it's never as like an adult into like as an adult where I learned to appreciate where I am more. Not saying I didn't appreciate it at the time, but like I'm gonna appreciate it more knowing that I can get something out of going to somewhere like Europe instead of, you know, just like, I don't know, I just really want to travel because I just feel like, 1, I have the time of my life, and 2, I think I finally found somebody who wants to do the same thing as me, and we want to do that together. And I've always wanted to travel post-college because, like I said, the world is just too big and too beautiful for me not to see as much of it as I can before I die. And that's really morbid, but it's the truth. So yeah, I will say if I have a long-term goal, it's just to travel more and then be consistent overall, not even on just my platforms, but more just, you know, like in life in general. I just want to be more consistent, if that makes sense, because I'm pretty consistent in what I do now. But if I could find my tweezers, I could put some lashes on, but I don't know where they are, so I'm not even gonna look for them. That's probably my sign that I need to give my lashes a break. On the days you don't create or edit content, what are you doing? I am probably somewhere lost in a book or lost in a show that I love. I'm currently watching The Bear. Let me just say, I believe in Carmi's supremacy. Richie, you're hilarious. Sydney, you will always be famous. And Miss Tina, I know she make a mean meal. I also love Marcus. Everybody else, I basically love the whole cast of the show. And let me just say, that show is so good. So if you need something to binge watch, definitely recommend, because not all the episodes are 45 minutes, which is amazing for me. Because sometimes in 45-minute episodes, I find myself checking to see like, how much longer is this shit? Like, you know? I've gotten back into reading, guys. Because I'm not the best at watching things. I'm a listener. I'm definitely a listener instead of a watcher. It's just who I am. I'm a listener girly at heart, okay? Also, this is the Lash Princess Essence Sculpted Volume. This is the best mascara. It adds so much color to the lashes. There were a lot of questions about my photography, and you guys have just been wanting like updates on that. I'm gonna take this Lash Princess Volume Mascara and put it on top of the other one. Photography's going good. I've had a few things since last time I really brought it up. I've been playing around with my camera, videography. I'm really getting into filmmaking on top of photography. I just think it's fun. The art of it is beautiful. I've been spending a lot of my time on Skillshare. I've been paying for my Skillshare membership out for like a year now, so I can learn more about videography, editing, photography, and I'm just really like in the learning thing again because I do know what I'm doing. I'm like intermediate, but that doesn't mean you can't stop learning. You can always be learning something about the skill in which you love to do. I've been taking my time relearning and just really mastering certain things about the craft, and really just I've been low-key, not gonna say creative directing, but trying to come up with shoots that are more creative than just like shooting photos of people. I want to learn how to tell stories through photography, but I can't do that unless I learn about how like everything comes together, or how things work together and stuff like that. So that's just where I'm at with that. Books I've been reading, since a lot of y'all asked me for book content and I refuse to do it outside of short form. The girls that no. Books I've been reading recently, I just finished the Inheritance Games. I would give it like a 4 stars. You can follow me on Goodreads if you want. I picked up the last book of the Good Girls Guide to Murder series, and I waited this long to finish it because I hate hardcover books and I wanted the soft cover, so I'm reading that right now. And then I also recently picked up the Hawthorne Brothers, like the second book of the Inheritance Games series, because yep, it's a series, don't stop there. And then I also picked up Ace of Spades recently. You guys must pay my account after I posted like my new pickups and everything. I was like, yeah, I just got these. Y'all were like, girl, you gonna love these so bad. I don't know, I really love talking about my hobbies with y'all, because I feel like sometimes I get lost in the content creation thing where it's like, okay girl, make the content, do what you have to do, but I am a person and I do have depth, and sometimes I forget, like, you can talk about stuff in videos and some people will relate, some people won't. Not everybody has to like every single thing that you like and do and things like that. That's my really easy makeup routine. I'm gonna have everything linked down below in the YouTube shop thing. If you want to shop my products, most of it is Fenty Rare Beauty, of course, but I also get commission from that with no extra cost to you. Thank you guys so much for chatting with me today. I missed you guys so much. Like, I haven't done this in a long time, but like the video helps me out a lot. And yeah, if you're new here, subscribe. I feel like I've been doing this so long. I'm so bad at ending it, so I'm sorry. But yeah, that's it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I really hope to see you on the next one. Bye, y'all.